Happens when Chicago's most feared crash dummies get hired to handle Milwaukee's
Talking about
problems?
crash
How does a
dummies.
disappointed
Hey, man,
basketball
I got
player
y'all
become the
think.
center
Hey,
of
this ain't-
allegations about multiple
this ain't no
paid
think
hits
think,
across
but it's
state
something, you know?
lines? Today, we're diving into the story
Come
of
on, flame down
Bloodhound
the
Lil
think
Jeff,
up,
a
man.
name that strikes
Y'all
fear
can't be
in the
watching
streets
this
of both
video.
Chicago
Hold up.
and Milwaukee.
Hold up. You can't be watching this video if you ain't had nothing. If you ain't had nothing, you might as well just click off of it. You gotta get the fried watching it. Your brain gonna function everything that's going on.
The internet is filled with rumors that this 21-year-old has allegedly been involved in up to 11 bodies, with several allegedly coming from paid hits in Milwaukee for local trappers who knew exactly what they were getting when they hired him.
Killed. Mook got killed because of Chevy, right? And the person that killed Mook, like I keep telling you, is Bloodhound Jeff from Chicago.
My bad, y'all.
Mook got killed because of Chevy, right? And the person that killed Mook, like I keep telling you, is Bloodhound Jeff from Chicago.
But here's what makes this story even crazier. One Milwaukee rapper recently admitted Jeff was spinning, but claimed he didn't pay him anything.
All of Johnny Dang before I rap shit, that's to say enough. They got it wrong. Yellow Jeff was spinning, but I ain't paying him.
So who was paying? And why did Milwaukee trappers turn to Chicago killers instead of handling their own business? By the end of this video, you'll understand how drug money connected two cities' violence, how Milwaukee's gangsters use Chicago crash dummies as their personal hit squad, and the trail of bodies that allegedly follow. Stay tuned, because this gets dark. Before we talk about Milwaukee, we need to understand what Bloodhounds were already doing in Chicago. Lil Jeff and his partner Q50 weren't just random street dudes. They were allegedly already building a reputation as killers in their own city. Born and raised on Chicago's east side, Jeff grew up in the drill era that glorified violence. But unlike many who just rapped about it, Jeff and Q50 were allegedly living it.
I just kept seeing your name all over the place, bro. Bloodhound Lil Jeff, Bloodhound Lil Jeff. I didn't know you was from Chicago.
Right.
I thought you was some. Originally I thought you were a UK drill artist.
For DJ, you funny as hell. What the hell?
You want to know? I'm gonna tell you right now why I thought you was from the UK. Cause they said Bloodhound Lil Jeff got 10 bodies.
Jeff's path to violence wasn't immediate. He actually had dreams outside the streets.
So I wonder what you were doing at 16.
I was 16. Around that time,
you were doing the Soldier Boy.
I was trying to play basketball, but that's around the time I ain't make
what you was doing at 16?
So at 16 was when I was.
What you was doing at 16, DJ?
I don't know what the f I'm gonna do.
That rejection from the varsity basketball team became a turning point. Within 2 years, Jeff was allegedly deep in Chicago's most violent crew. His older brother introduced him to street life.
So can you tell us like who introduced you to the street life?
My brother.
Yeah, when
your older brother, right?
Yeah.
But Jeff also experienced trauma that shaped his mindset.
My crib got shot up when I was like 14. I was some stupid ass shit. The bullet, that bitch flew like right past my face. They shot the back and the front, then they blew the car.
That shit would have traumatized me too.
By 18, Jeff was allegedly part of the Bloodhounds, and him and Q50 were reportedly catching bodies in Chicago before anyone in Milwaukee even knew their names. Here's where the story gets interesting. The Bloodhounds weren't just killers. Their big homies were major drug dealers with connections reaching far beyond Chicago. These connections are what linked Chicago's Bloodhounds to Milwaukee's street scene. When you're moving serious weight, you need serious protection and serious consequences for those who interfere with business. According to street sources, Milwaukee trappers were already locked in with Bloodhound big homies through drug networks. This wasn't some random connection. This was business.
Allegedly, his 6th time doing some shit. It was some Milwaukee shit again, you know, that he was once again paid for. I guess it's some people in Milwaukee that's connected to the Bloodhounds. However they connected, they tied in with the Bloodhounds in Chicago, and they know Shorty them. I mean, for them in Milwaukee, they get wild too. So it's like, it's not like they needed Bloodhound them to do this shit. Like, they probably could have did the shit themselves, but I guess they call themselves being smart or whatever. Like, all right, we ain't gonna get it. You know, if Shorty them gonna do it for us, we ain't gonna get our hands dirty.
Milwaukee gangsters recognized Jeff and Q50 as crash dummies, willing to do anything for money. Q50 admitted it in a video clip.
I'm in love with taking these chains. Taeskii like a blind man walk. And then me and got Donnie Kane. Me and Jeff like Amsterdam, step back to a nigga like Big Plane. Niggas know I got fights from state to state. And then me and all pop niggas for the
They saw an opportunity to outsource their violence while keeping their own hands clean.
They needed Bloodhound them to do this shit. Like they probably could have did the shit themselves, but I guess they call themselves being smart or whatever. Like, we ain't gonna get if Shorty them gonna do it for us, we ain't gonna get our hands dirty, and we got the money. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, we just gonna pay Shorty them. They getting wild. I ain't gonna lie, fool. Like, they really was sending Bloodhound them off. They really, was treating them like the crash dummies that they is, fool. Like, man, y'all let Shorty them crazy. They some crash dummies. They some send-off. They some send-off artists. And we got money, and they wouldn't have do this shit. We just gonna pay them to do it,
But I don't think that they was thinking like that. They probably had real
alleged 6 times doing some shit. He was paid again by folding them in Milwaukee.
Once Milwaukee trappers realized they had access to Chicago killers, the alleged hits started piling up. According to street rumors, Jeff's first alleged paid hit in Milwaukee was a triple homicide that shocked the city. On March 27, 2022, 3 men were found shot execution style in their apartment.
The case involving 3 men shot and killed execution style at an apartment in Milwaukee is still unsolved. 2 of the victims were brothers, and detectives say it's going to take the whole community to get this killer off the streets.
They ain't in no more pain. They ain't gonna hurt no more.
On March 28th, a day after the triple shooting, droves of people came out to remember the 3 men killed. Anthony Thompson, Thierry's McKinney, Clarence Harris.
When are we gonna stop? When are we gonna love?
The day before this vigil, family members of one of the men called police when they hadn't heard from him. Milwaukee police detectives say they went to the apartment at 54th and Mill Road.
When they got there, they found that the door was ajar to the apartment. And when they entered the apartment, they found that there were 3 adult males that were all deceased of gunshot wounds.
Detective Tim Keller says they believe it happened around 2 in the morning while people were sleeping, which makes what they know about this case limited.
At least one of the victims that resided at the residence where this occurred was engaged in drug dealing from that residence. And that's potentially the motive for this. People sometimes are hesitant to tell us what type of activities their loved one was involved in that could have led to their death. It really does not matter to us other than potentially figuring out a motive. We don't work any less hard on a case just because someone was engaged in drug dealing prior to being killed. We need that information to come forward, and no matter what the information is, if someone in the community knows who is responsible for this.
Anthony Thompson, known Big Juice, Thierry's McKinney, and 52-year-old Clarence Harris. Anthony Thompson was connected to Milwaukee's rap scene and had appeared in the East Side Cypher video. His death sent shockwaves through the community. One blogger explains the alleged Bloodhound involvement.
Lil Jeff first time doing some shit was in Milwaukee, where he was paid to, he was like, they damn near paid him to do a hit on a house full of people. It was 3 people in the house, and Lil Jeff and his Bloodhound homies was paid to go up in the house and get everybody up out of there. Like, everybody who up in there, just take everybody out. So, according to Lil Jeff, his people and other sources, like, that was Lil Jeff first time doing some shit, and his homies, that was their first time doing some shit. So the first time they did some shit, they caught 3 bodies the first time they ever did some shit.
No arrests were ever made in this case. The next alleged hit involved 18-year-old Clifton Moo Pate Jr., who was killed on September 4, 2023, while sitting inside a vehicle near 58th and Fairmont on Milwaukee's west side. The killing was allegedly retaliation for the death of someone called Chevy. Milwaukee street sources claim this was another paid hit.
Milwaukee. So I want to talk about the truth about Milwaukee, right? Because I don't got no valid truth that happened, but I got valid truth that what happened was this, right? When Mook got killed, got killed because of Chevy, right?
However, there's debate about which Bloodhound was responsible.
That's what everybody want to know, right? Because everybody thought the old man put the belt on Chevy, right? But it's rumored that Mook allegedly put the belt to Chevy, and he got the belt put to him. So you saying the stories about Mook is a lie, but the stories about Chevy is real, or the stories about Chevy is a lie too?
No, it's 50-50 with both of them. Like, some of that mixed, like some of that made up, some of that real.
Listen. Chevy, before Chevy died, Chevy called a homie a week before he died, right? Chevy clapped somebody a week before he died.
That's some of the part that's
I got proof. I got proof. So how you gonna tell me there's not no killer? He's a real killer.
This disagreement shows how the Bloodhounds operated as a unit, making it difficult to determine individual responsibility. Here's where we get confirmation that Milwaukee rappers knew exactly what they were dealing with. In the song Bloody Tears, Milwaukee rapper Cracks admits this.
All of Johnny Dang before I rap shit, that's to say enough. They got it wrong. Yellow Jeff was spinning, but I ain't paying nothing.
This line is crucial because it confirms that 1. Jeff was indeed spinning in Milwaukee. 2. Multiple people were allegedly paying him. 3. Even those connected to the violence were willing to admit Jeff was active. The fact that Cracks felt the need to distance himself from paying Jeff suggests there were others who were paying him for hits. There's actual footage of Jeff in Milwaukee clubs showing he wasn't just making quick trips for hits. He was embedded in the scene.
You know, it's a clip of Lil Jeff going around right now, and they saying that, you know, it's a clip of Lil Jeff out at the club with.
One source describes what they saw in the footage.
And they saying that, you know, it's a clip of Lil Jeff out at the club with a few of his bloodhounds and some of they Milwaukee people. You know, Lil Jeff's dropping the rakes and shit like that. Shorty look young as hell, bro. Like a straight, like, still wet behind the ears, all type of shit. Like,
fuck you mean?
He died at 21, so in this video he had to be like 19 or some shit like that, you know? They just using his little ass, bro, paying him crumbs, and he doing all the dirt. Lil Jeff and his homies, they doing all the dirt, and Shorty phoning them in Milwaukee, paying them crumbs to do this shit.
The relationship between Milwaukee trappers and Chicago Bloodhounds was purely transactional. Milwaukee had the money, Chicago had the killers willing to travel.
They was using Shorty. Phoning them in Milwaukee, they ass was using Shorty. They were, you know, they had the money, and it's like the Bloodhounds was doing all their dirty work, you know. They was using them, you know.
But the source makes an important point about the Bloodhounds' willingness.
I mean, the Bloodhounds wanted to be used, though. I don't want to make it seem like it's they was taking advantage of them type situation, because it's like, if that's the case, four of them wanted to be taken advantage. They wanted to be taken advantage of. They wanted to be used. Like, you know, they ass wasn't to crash, and four of them wasn't to pay them to crash. They crashing for free. They doing this shit for free. So it's like, shit, if they can get paid for it, they looking at the situation like, shit, it's a win-win. We already willing to do this shit for nothing.
Jeff's alleged activities in Milwaukee didn't go unnoticed. When he was eventually killed in Chicago, Milwaukee figures posted about it, including references to specific dates that allegedly corresponded to hits. The posts referenced the day he caught a hate, street terminology that could refer to when someone committed a significant act of violence that created enemies. While Jeff never directly admitted to Milwaukee's hits in interviews, there are moments where his statements take on new meaning given these allegations. When asked about his reputation, Jeff responds.
Okay, so you got this reputation, man. You got this crazy reputation. Feel me? How do you move through Chicago? Do you feel like you probably got a target on your back?
Hell nah, these niggas scared, man. I'm outside every day. They ass ducking. I never see people on live dropping my low, showing their ass where I'm at.
We be outside every day.
I be from up everywhere you could think of.
When discussing his lifestyle and what he's known for,
Bloodhound Lil Jeff want to get across to the people. Like, who is Bloodhound Lil Jeff and why is he so popular right now?
I'm a nigga that y'all need to stay out my way. When y'all see me, don't even say shit to me, cause I don't know what you might be on. It's too much shit going on. I don't know what your intention is. So I'm ready to tell y'all.
We got the wolves over there.
Stay on my way, so I gotta tell the people. Cause the people be on bullshit.
The wolves action figure?
See, they saying all this up shit. They got your head with that shit. That shit up. y'all, fuck y'all.
These statements, while not admissions, paint a picture of someone who believes his reputation for violence precedes him. The alleged connection between Bloodhound Lil Jeff and Milwaukee hits represents something larger, the nationalization of street violence through drug networks. When local trappers have enough money and connections to import killers from other cities, it changes the entire dynamic of street beef. It makes violence harder to investigate, creates jurisdictional complications for law enforcement, and allows those ordering hits to maintain distance from the actual violence.
Bloodhound, Vaughn, Melly, Mad Max and No Limit.
So many
these just the people that's not here no more that was running around that need to be put down. But it's still a lot of other shorties that's, you know, coming up under the, like this the Lil Jeff generation, shorty like the King Von generation. Like it's crazy. It's like levels to this shit. Like at first it was for them that was coming under Von, they wanted to be like Von. Nowadays, showing them they want to be like Lil Jeff, bro.
Right.
Lil Jeff and the alleged Milwaukee hits shows how modern street violence has evolved beyond neighborhood beefs into interstate criminal enterprises. What started as Chicago crash dummies looking for quick money allegedly became a pattern of paid violence that connected two cities' street scenes in the most tragic way possible. Whether Jeff was actually responsible for all the hits attributed to him may never be conclusively proven. What's clear is that Milwaukee trappers believed they could outsource their violence to Chicago killers, and that belief allegedly cost multiple people their lives. As one Milwaukee figure put it, the full truth remains buried in street code, unsolved cases, and the complex web of money and violence that connects America's most dangerous neighborhoods. But the allegations surrounding Lil Jeff serve as a stark reminder of how far some will go when cash meets crash dummies. If you found this breakdown eye-opening, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe.
Man, make sure y'all like, comment, subscribe, comment down below if y'all think Lil Jeff actually did that shit.